The Call of Duty League is presented by T-Mobile, now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G. Scump, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. The Call of Duty League is presented by USAA Insurance, auto, renters, and home insurance that's made to help the military community protect what they've worked hard for.
Howdy friends, and welcome to day one of the Dallas home series. It is set to be a wonderful week as we look to wrap up the stage 3 regular season. We are starting this one off with a banger. Minnesota Røkkr taking on the LA Guerrillas, but we got to talk about what this means, right? What this means when it comes down to the end of the day with our CDL points presented by Game Fuel. Well, you see teams kind of across the board right now. FaZe, Empire, Ultra, kind of in those top 3 spots. OpTic just on the edge along with NYSL. But our two teams, Study, we talk about that top 8, how important it is when it comes down to playoffs is everything, and we've got Røkkr and LAG right on the cusp. But as we said, folks, it's Lando and Study to guide you guys through the action. As we said, Stud, a lot of things to be excited about in regards to our series. What, LAN is back? Can I get it's the Dallas home series. Can I get a yeehaw, Stud?
Yeehaw, baby. Let's go, man. I'm excited for this match that we got coming up. LAG on one side versus Minnesota. Obviously, both of these guys coming off of some tough losses throughout that last week matches. One going up against Toronto, the other one going against Dallas. They're looking to bounce back today, and hopefully one of these teams are able to show up.
I absolutely love that. I love the yeehaw. I'm gonna go back to the VOD after this is over and just clip it maybe for future. But like we said, folks, it is set to be a great first match to start off the day. As we discussed, both teams in a major spot to try and prove themselves, especially in this group, all in preparation for that stage 3 major. Let's go and meet our first team on the board. It is the Minnesota Røkkr.
Røkkr certainly come to play.
They can't stop it. They can't stop the kids. They can't stop it.
Oh, Priestahh, disgusting. Accuracy's there, nice kill. Bang! 200 IQ, 10 out of 10 play. Oh my word! But Dash is going to save the day. Røkkr are kings of the north.
And there is your Minnesota Røkkr. I mean, what, Study? Not many people kind of know where to put this team right now. 1 and 2 start so far inside of stage 3. I mean, what area do you think that they need to improve in the most?
I think when you talk about this roster, when this first roster was formed, throughout that honeymoon stage, they were good across every single game mode, specifically in that hardpoint. And obviously, hardpoint has been that struggle for them once again. They cannot find consistent slaying throughout the entire map. And even though they ended up winning one of those hardpoints last week versus Toronto, the next 3, they weren't clean. Toronto just wiped the floor with them. So I'm looking for Minnesota to really come out and answer, especially in that map number 1.
And like you said, when this team kind of originally started, right, with Standy, I mean, hardpoint was kind of their strong suit, right? It was search and destroy to start, then they have hardpoint kind of coming, and how great that was for this Røkkr lineup. I mean, hey, like you said, this could be the mode that sets them over the edge, or it could be the mode that maybe kind of puts them a little more in the depths, if you will, when it comes down to, like we said, what has been a very difficult group stage. But hey, like we said, we've introduced our first purple team. We got to introduce the other. Let's go and put your hands together for the LA Guerrillas.
When my friends go, it was simple. When the ends low, switch the tempo. I got right, I got heart, I won't die, I'ma fight. I go down, bet I strike, I go hard day and night. Money on the line, keep calling. Money on the books, need all that. My kids, they'll be ballin'. Got a real bankroll, not for Instagram. My mama on the line, keep calling. Praying for me, know I need all that. Told me it's not about ballin'. Real blessed, but I'm still sinning, man. I got right, I got heart, I won't die, I'ma fight. I go down, bet I strike, I go hard day and night.
It's been an interesting stage 3 so far for the Guerrillas. What, Study? They start off 3-0 versus Paris, then they go into that series versus Toronto. They kind of blow the first 2 maps. They end up getting 3-0'd. And in their last series, they send the Dallas Empire all the way to a game 5. As we said, an interesting stage 3 for a team that's obviously, like we said, kind of off of a roster change still with Sheen in the lineup.
Yeah, the Guerrillas throughout stage 3, you know, they started off high. It was a good first taste of what this team could potentially be. Chino was out there doing the damn thing with a 1.8 throughout that first series. But then ever since then, teams have started to catch on. Now, this is where LAG are really starting to struggle. And let's just hop right into the keys to victory for LAG. They need to expand their hardpoint map pool. They have every single map in hardpoint on this game. They've only gotten 1 win across the board. The only one that they have 2 wins is not with us anymore, which was going to be Crossroads, but they definitely need to improve there. So, and keep improving in Search and Destroy. 13-9 record, ranked number 3 so far in the CDL, and then obviously you're going up against Minnesota, who are not too shabby at that game mode in their favor, and then get better on maps other than the control on raids. Their raid control, they're 5-2, and the combined of the other 2, they're gonna be sitting at 1-9. So hopefully LAG, they will be able to put some practice on in the back end so they can start performing better in these respawns.
Yeah, right. I feel like the issues for LAG are kind of apparent. It's like hardpoint, not so good. Search and Destroys, we're good. Control, it's just raid. So, you know, you kind of have a few things to work off of, which can be nice from time to time, but here are our game fuel keys to victory now for the Minnesota Røkkr study. What do we got here?
And then the ARs, they just need to come out and play today. You have Accuracy and Priestahh, who just underperformed, both at a 0.82 versus Toronto. Inside and Cammy, they were just wiping the floor, and you cannot allow that to be able to do that against players like Assault and Chino. And then they also need to step up in the slaying performance for overall just the team in hardpoint, man. They're -34 in slaying. No one is over 1.0 KD, and that's really bad because when we talk about it, when Standy was first added to this team, hardpoint was looking like their best game mode. And they need to step up in S&D versus the top caliber teams in the game mode. 2-6 so far in their last 8. Standy sitting at a 0.52 and Accuracy at a 0.75, and it just relies on a lot of teamwork for these guys. When we watch these guys performing their best in Search and Destroy, it's when all 4 players are pushing out and doing everything together. You see those stats out of Accuracy. Accuracy is usually that island player who's always playing by himself, watching bomb sites by himself, and on the opposite side you had Standy, which is that playmaker. He's either going to be hitting you around the backside, pushing through middle map, but when he's at a 0.5, he's not really being that impactful player, so they need them to really step up and play as a unit in that Search and Destroy game mode.
Without a doubt, my friend, as we take a quick little look at our maps and modes, we get Apocalypse Hardpoint to start, maybe some other interesting ones to look out for, right? Raid Control in the center of the series. We got Checkmate Hardpoint, Miami S&D, and of course, I can't leave out the other map, Moscow Search and Destroy for game number 2. When we talked about the vetoes, like I know that you and I kind of had this conversation coming into this series about that Checkmate Hardpoint, about that Raid Control. Yep. Obviously, because of LAG being Team A, they did have the opportunity to get rid of the Garrison, so that could wipe away a little bit of confusion for why we see Raid Control in this, because of how good that LAG are in this compared to others. But I mean, do any of those kind of stick off the page? Is it the control, or do you think it's something else?
It's definitely just the control, because right off the rip, you can just tell that LAG, even if they have been putting the work in on the backside, they still are not confident enough to either play Checkmate or Garrison. And the thing is, both of these teams, this is going to be their best map on control. Yeah. It's going to be that raid. So both of these guys, obviously, they're feeling really confident. That one's just going to be a head battle. So whoever is going to be able to win that should be able to take the series.
Oh man, it's going to be fun as we start off on Apocalypse Hardpoint for game number 1, series number 1 of the Dallas home series. And against that, really, when we talk about all of these maps, it is so important, right? When it comes down to that top 3 seeding for the groups, every map matters, every series, of course, matters. And really, for both these teams, this series is so important just to kind of get an idea of where they sit right now, right? Are LAG still kind of one of those top contenders, or rather on the Minnesota side, have they kind of fallen? Are they still one of the top dogs? A lot to be proven in this series, but we start things off on Apocalypse Hardpoint. Both these teams did play that last week versus Toronto, and really in the affairs, if we want to kind of compare both of these teams, Stud, it was LAG who had a much better performance versus the Ultra in this one.
Yeah, LAG, they looked a lot more consistent on this map, and it was just because Toronto, they were able to just do such a great job of just holding that P2 when they had the early setup. But Guerrillas, they did the same exact thing. Once they were fully set up for P2, they held a full 60 twice on a map like this, so that could be really beneficial to them as this map is getting underway. They're able to pick up some time off of this middle hard point. You see number 3 is Silly. He's going to be sneaking around towards the back. And this is the best case scenario right now for the Guerrillas. They're able to gain some much needed time off that P1 and should be fully set up for that P2 as long as they hold this first push from the Røkkr.
Yeah, unless Standy has anything to say about it. Not want to release these P2 spawns, this advantage that you can begin to possess. Current 2 versus 2 on the hill, and it's right now attached for the Røkkr, the last alive player toward this Temple side. He gets dealt with, and so it will be a successful break for now. Out of the boys from LAG, as aBeZy instantly becomes one of the first line of defenses as his teammates begin to fall from every which angle. Silly now last alive, and so what, man? 35 seconds left. It looked good for LAG. Minnesota, they break back in. Will be somewhat more even now coming into P3.
Yeah, that was something I wasn't expecting because we saw LAG last week just hold this down to perfection. But this time you have 3 players from Minnesota who push around the backside, able to win all those engagements and eventually flip out these spawns. So they're going to be able to fight back into this game and eventually take this lead. But now that sets up the Guerrillas to try to get nice and early set up for that P3 hard point. You're going to see Silly sitting in towards top TV. And that number 2 player in Assault pushed up all the way towards low trenches. You just have to hold this first wave of kills. Able to take down 1, but Accuracy and Standy able to take down 2. That's going to be the 3rd, and then eventually these spawns are eventually going to try to start flipping. And Minnesota, they just did a great job at flipping those spawns.
Yeah, it's a great break out of the Røkkr. Again, as we talked about on this map, right, it's really just a matter of a lot of up-close fights. That P2 to P3 rotation at times can be chained, I don't want to say easily, but a lot more effectively than many other maps as Røkkr are putting on display right now. They also do flip, rather continue to hold on to those spawns for a moment. It was LAG who had those back spawns for no man's land, but really it's just been a solid position out of Minnesota for the moment. With 18 seconds left, the focus now begins to come in toward Turtle, and at least off the start it is Minnesota here as Adam Assault looks to put in the damage from the front side. But right now from LAG, they're being held up. aBeZy trying to make the plays from the side. Nice coordinated push as Accuracy falls. It will set up LAG to break on in.
Yeah, so kills are just going back and forth between both teams right there. Eventually, Guerrillas were able to neutralize that and get the spawns that they wanted. This was the back of that P5, so they're going to be able to start off with this initial time. That's all about just trying to stay alive towards this back, but here comes a streak out of Standy. He was able to pick up that artillery with the streak he was able to go on when he was in that TV room. The 2 players are now going to drop. They know that 1 player is unfortunately going to be in towards this ticket booth. He's eventually going to drop. Now you see Minnesota, they do have the spawns. It's all about just trying to eliminate this last player, and just like that, they're able to break in, and now you're forcing all of LAG to try to rotate through the middle of the map, but Priestahh is causing problems, able to take down 2 before he gets taken down.
I mean, what, for Minnesota? They get closer to the 100-second mark. P2, P3, P4. Can they make it a P5 hold as well as LAG look to make their way in toward lights? So we'll go ahead and step aside and listen in with our Astro listening on the Minnesota Røkkr.
Trying to get to new guys. There could be 1 here. Yeah, he is.
That's him.
He's in new. He's in new.
Okay.
Silly.
Wait, 2 front. 2 front.
Hold the back. Hold the back.
Okay,
we're spawner.
I hit him with the nade. I'm the
back. They can hit left.
I'm flashed. I'm
I'm on him low. I'm on him low.
Let's top Silly.
I'm looking at L for a second.
I got 1. Top 2.
Nice.
App low.
Okay, we're just waiting back
Hold
there.
back.
Yeah,
Keep holding,
just
keep
hold.
holding.
I don't see him L or rugs.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
going top. We're just
pinching
waiting.
rug. I'm pinching rug now.
I'm going top.
I'm looking top though. I don't
Top
see him.
TV.
We can start.
Top TV
I'm
assault.
praying a minute.
Top TV assault dead.
Top
I'm
AK,
pinching AK.
top
I'm
AK.
pinching AK.
Top AK, top. He's weak up
Top
top.
dead. Top dead.
Low,
Nice.
under ladder.
Low trench. Sheen and Hill.
Under ladder hill.
Sheen
Under
1
ladder
shot
hill.
and 1 hill.
I'm
Second
down.
round,
I'm
1
on
shot. Second round, 1
I'm
shot.
picking up
I'm nading.
Go left. Go
Chow,
left.
chow.
Nade it. 2.
Close right. Sheen. Dead.
Got him hurt.
I'm 1 shot. 1 shot.
I'm 1 shot as well.
Flashing.
I got 1.
Oh, he's new.
I'm coming to help you.
Two ult. 2 ult.
1 more ult.
Nice, big win.
Alright, nice. I'm gonna go left.
Okay, Salt was in the window. Be careful.
Okay.
I'm gonna come Cooper
We're going
now.
low with you, Lamar.
Alright, ready? Slide out for me.
I don't see him P1 barrels.
I don't see him.
I'm waiting for some noise. Wait
I
for me,
get it
wait for
left?
me,
Yeah.
wait for me.
I don't see him low.
I think he's top
Up
maps.
top.
Alright.
Close on me, app.
I'm point weak, Gene. And
Jump it
he's
up,
on coach,
jump
you
it
can get through.
Okay.
He's gonna beat you right here. He might
Go
come
on
back.
top TV.
On the car, just where the trophy hill. He's laying down behind the car.
Alright,
Good job, dead.
They're gonna spawn behind me.
Low.
No,
They're
no,
spawning
no.
trench.
Last guy hill.
They spawn P2. They spawn P2.
Yeah, they're on tempo.
They have no true gun hill.
Watch out P2. Watch out P2. He's
Oh,
gonna go back there.
behind the truck, behind the truck.
He's back here. 1 shot.
Top. Yo, we gotta hit routes.
I'm gonna go right. I'm gonna go
Abs
right.
on me over here.
Wrap low.
Come low, though.
I got Yeah. naded.
Look,
There's
I'm framing it.
2 clip. One's hitting left
Looking
out.
over you.
Yo,
She's hitting left
go
out.
Coupon spawn.
Top dead.
Nice. Gene could be
I'm
in. I naded hill.
Okay, I'm waiting for you.
Hopping up.
I'm gonna chop 10. He's not on
Look
truck.
at my
I
right.
don't see him truck. Okay, truck, Justin. There's
on your top.
2 on hill. I dropped it in.
I got 1 hill.
Nice, one more silly on hill.
Under coop and clip. Back behind the truck now. Behind the truck.
On the
Dead.
truck.
Clip. You tell me on hill.
Don't help you
Dead.
help.
Good job.
Nice.
One side. Stay down hill if you can. Stay left.
Go.
Well, it's a neck-and-neck hard point through our first set of rotations, and now coming in toward the next side of P2. I gotta say, Standy, I feel like the comms were good despite LAG having a few good sequences there as Minnesota now look to break on toward Temple.
Yeah, I love the comms out of Minnesota right there. It was all just methodical. Everything was coordinated. Everyone was communicating on what they needed to do. You heard Accuracy step up and said, hey, bait for me right here. Slide on through now. And then you heard Standy. He was really stepping up in those comms for me. He was telling everybody, make sure you're hitting your routes. Make sure we're taking our time, staying alive in the back. It was just perfect teamwork for Røkkr. And right now you see them nice and early set up in towards this P2. Even though they do not have the back spawns, they're doing the best case scenario, trying to hold it from the front. But iLLeY eventually are able to break back in. With only being down 37 seconds, iLLeY taking down 3. This is a good 25 seconds to get back into this game.
Yeah, a good and necessary hold out of the boys from Guerrillas. But I know kind of on topic with the Røkkr, right? The big conversation coming into this series is that, hey, you know, can their hard points be good? Can they be solid again like they were when they kind of originally added Standy to the team? And, you know, despite what has been kind of a slower record for them as of late, you know, it hasn't been one player underperforming stud. Like, we looked at their hardpoint X factors coming into this series, and it's kind of basically identical across the board. Like, everybody's around a 1.1 in their wins. Everybody's around a 0.8 in their losses. So I guess that kind of is a benefit if you are the Røkkr. Granted, you're not relying on one player a majority of the time, but it really is a team effort from the boys of Minnesota.
Yeah, it definitely is a team effort with everything that they do. Because like you said, you have every time they're losing, they're sitting at a 0.8. So it's just not looking for the entire team. When they're winning, everybody's over a 1.0. So they just need to be on point. And right now with this lead, the setup that they have for this P3, attached picking up kills left and right from low trenches, they're able to open up this lead. But now it's starting to focus on that rotation. The two players are going to spawn out towards that back tempo if you're iLLeY. So that number 2 in Assault, he's going to have his hands full here. Try to eliminate a couple of these players from Minnesota. He's able to take down one, but eventually he's going to get traded. Accuracy still putting down a couple shots, and the spawns are eventually going to flip in for the Røkkr's favor. Now it's all about, can they try to break through? Because the Guerrillas only being down 40 points, they can definitely hold this from the front with 2 players spawning out towards Temple.
As we said on Apocalypse, things can get quite crazy. As you're going to see spawns pretty much across the map. What in that moment, despite having kind of no man's land control, it is Standy who spawns out back toward P2. So this could be a positive flank in the end as players from every which angle are winning the fights. But despite what looked like a good moment there from the Røkkr, is 4 down in favor of iLLeY. Not only are they getting time here at P4, but they are set up quite nice for P5 as well. But just as we say that, they begin to force all of their players toward that outer rim, toward lights, and begin to evaluate what the most important hardpoint is right now. As back and forth we go, a current 3-point game as Seany wins a big 1v1 fight on the point to try and grab these last 10 seconds of scrap. And they're going to need it as now we get ready to focus toward P5. A number of different big fights going throughout the map, but the farthest pushed up player from iLLeY right now, that being Assault.
Yeah, so now we basically have a tie game, and Minnesota, they just did a great job off that rotation to flip these spawns. It was getting a little scary because the Guerrillas were able to hold it from the front side, but now they're able to just put themselves in a position to try to close this game out. You're going to see Standy hit the pinch, unfortunately, only able to take down one, but they are still keeping these back spawns, and they can win it off of this hard point. It's all about just trying to line up these kills, trying to hold at least 1 to 2 more waves, and Accuracy taking down 2. His teammates trying to fly in. Standy's going to be able to take down the 3rd. This is going to slow down the push. That's going to be all 4 dead once again for iLLeY. They can still lose off this hard point, so they're just all going to try to commit towards this and try to playfully contest. But right now, the Røkkr are just getting every single kill in the kill feed.
We've seen so many streaks happen in this portion of the map. I feel like on Checkmate it ends at P2. On Apocalypse, it feels as if normally P5 is where things can start to get solidified as Standy. An exclamation point here on Apocalypse will finalize things up as the Røkkr will claim victory here on Game 1.
Yeah, it just came down to what I was expecting from iLLeY was those perfect P2 holds, and they just couldn't get it done on both rotations. So both times, Minnesota were able to break in when it came to the front side or the back side, and that was really the turning point of this game. They just continuously kept on breaking into their setups, and iLLeY, they just couldn't get a proper setup to hold down a hard point for a full 60. In Minnesota, they capitalized on it. Standy has a great game, and they start off 1-0.
Yeah, I feel like we didn't give enough credit to Standy kind of throughout that game. I mean, he was a major difference maker kind of throughout a majority of these fights. Obviously, toward the end, he plays big, finishes off 29 and 17. Really, when it comes down to damage, though, right? Despite going 19 and 19, Attach puts in 5K damage, going off really with both weapons. I know we saw him going off with the Krig. I know the 74U was obviously in his hands a majority of the time, but SMGs were firing well for Minnesota. I mean, what said? That was the game mode we said, hey, it's going to be a big one for them to try and take with that search and destroy up next. Minnesota kind of sweat off the brow to start this one off.
Yeah, they definitely do. And hopefully, you know, starting into that second S&D, this is where we need to see LAG come to life, because they are a 2-3-5 team, and now starting off 1-0, this is exactly what we expect out of that roster.
Absolutely. Well, Attach has got it up. Up 1-0 indeed are the Røkkr with search and destroy Moscow up next for game 2.
Call of Duty League is presented by T-Mobile, now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G. The Call of Duty League is presented by Seany, the official eyewear for the CDL. Armor your eyes with Seany Blocks blue light protection glasses by visiting seany.com/gaming.
Everybody, welcome back to the Call of Duty League. A solid start to our first series of the day between LAG and the Minnesota Røkkr. But Steph, let's go and talk some Cheen, right? Obviously, his addition toward this LAG team, it's been somewhat impactful, right? Both of these teams, really the kind of the story of the CDL so far has been these roster changes, even coming into this week with, like, you know, Huke in the LA Thieves, and obviously we see Decimate in the Surge. Like, there have been a number of different moves, and LAG cannot be excluded from that conversation. I mean, I gotta say, looking at the stats here, what have you made of Cheen's impact on LAG so far?
I feel like Cheen, when you add him to this roster, his impact has been just great, because they have been consistently been able to fight through every single series. Not every series that they've played now has been a blowout, like the series versus Dallas last week goes all the way to a game 5. The series versus Toronto, both of those first 2 maps were really close. The map 3 obviously was a blowout, but just having this guy on your team, he's able to do it all. And he's one of those players that will just fill any single gap. He wants to be that player where you can look at him and just say, hey, you do this. He has no problem with that. And that's what I really love about Cheen, is because this team, they have so many adjustments that they want to make. Silly going to that sub role. Silly still picks up the assault rifle, but Cheen, he's just able to do it all. And for this team, he's really fitting well.
I gotta say too, man, like, I feel like one of, you know, Cheen's best attributes, for those that maybe, you know, don't know exactly how he is as a person, is just really his attitude toward the game, right? He's a great person, like, in and out of the game, like we always talk about. Like, we just want to see Cheen do well because of how awesome of a guy he is. Like, I used to tune into his streams all the time. As part of the Cheen Burgers for a decent amount, and you know, like, he's just a great guy. Always provides a lot to the communication, and that can really help out this LAG team. I know when we talk about, you know, just different modes, like, you know, how the search and destroys versus the hard points have kind of played out. Like, nothing's too drastic for LAG despite his addition into the team, but I think in regards to the communication, just the structure of the way that this team wants to play, we talk about, it's kind of that veteran type of play style, like 4v4. They want to try and, like, make you kind of fall into their trap, more of a slow-paced team, and we very well are going to be kind of administered to that in these search and destroys. I know commonly for for the LAG sides that, like, we always talk about, like, if we ever see them on Miami search and destroy, The first 30 seconds, 45 seconds of a round are just like, okay, you know, it's probably going to be a little bit slower than anything, but getting right into this Moscow search and destroy, excuse me, it looks like a hard point based off the way that it started off, as aBeZy quickly finds himself on the flank. So we've got ourselves into a 2 versus 2. Salt and aBeZy versus Attach and Standy.
Man, this round has been an absolute bloodbath on both sides. There was just three players on both sides committing towards that A site. Standy eventually is going to be able to hit the re-pinch onto those players and take down both. But I love that play right there out of Minnesota. Right off the rip, we talked about it earlier on our keys to victory. It was just the teamwork in search and destroy. In their last 8, they've only been able to win 2. So it's just been relied on a lot of individual play. But they sent 4 players over towards that A site, execute the team push perfectly, and win the first round.
And I know we talked about it, you know, it was in our keys to victory in terms of like stats and stuff, but like when you're talking about you've played 3 series, you're kind of now hopping into your 4th year versus top caliber team in LAG. I mean, what, the stats, accuracy to 0.75, standing at a 0.52 so far throughout stage 3. That's never going to be able to get the job done.
Yeah, it's definitely not, but, you know, as they get more reps in, their main focus when this team was first formed was that hard point. So they got that underneath their belt. Obviously, it's been lacking in a little bit recently, but they got over that honeymoon stage. So now it's all about just focus on perfecting your gameplay. And Standy, he's still being that individual playmaker. Now left in a 1v3 is going to be silly. But so far, Minnesota, all these team pushes. That's another 3-man push to that A site. They were able to take control, eventually win a majority of those gunfights and know exactly where Silly is in this situation. He's just trying to make a miracle happen, but eventually they're just stalling time for the pinch to come in, and that's just another great round out of Minnesota right there to go up 2-0.
And I feel like, too, man, like these first 2 rounds, like as we discussed, like LAG kind of more of a slower, more methodical team. I mean, they've just been kind of sprinted at, right, by the Røkkr. Like in these last few rounds, they have been trying to just overall be aggressive. I feel like, you know, we're almost like on a highway, and Minnesota's like, you know, that fast, you know, sports car, and then you just kind of the family just, you know, up ahead. They're just kind of honking like, can we get it going, please? Like, can we try to speed this one up? And LAG maybe somewhat out of their sorts to start off. As again, at least maybe being able to retrieve some information out of those first 2 rounds. They can get somewhat of a better outlook, as it will be the 1-3 split. Granted that one player, being Assault, is hanging out toward mid. He'll make the rotation back toward B. Some tosses of utility out toward A. The current bait in play as Minnesota look to make the movement now toward that B site. As we said, slowly pushing up, taking their time. That bomb looks to get planted from Standy.
Yeah, so Assault, he gains that information that all these players are committing towards the B bomb site, but for some reason, LAG, they only have 1 player wrapped back in a very late timing. So Priestahh, he's able to take down 1 middle map. So now it turns into a 3v3 situation. But Minnesota, they have full control of this bomb site. Chino's able to cast a player in accuracy, so that's going to open up the street. So this might be the opportunity for LAG to try, find that opening. They're able to take down Attach. Now left in a 1v3 is going to be Standy, and just like that, Silly's able to walk away with the kill and eventually walk away with the round. When I thought LAG were too slow off the rotation, for some reason they still get the job done and close it out in the defensive round.
I don't know what it was. I feel like me and you, we casted Guerrillas so often to start off the season, and you know the big thing, like we said, was like, okay, very slow on offense. You know, at times the retakes can be a little bit slower too, but then they just come out and just really impress you on their retakes, and you're like, well, maybe it's not so bad that they're playing a little bit slower. Like we said, maybe they're just kind of gaining communication as time goes on, and obviously it works out there. A much needed round out of the Guerrillas as they're finally able to put one up on the board.
See, so now you win that round if you're LAG. Now you're going into another offensive push. And the way that we like to see LAG play is slow and steady, work a rotation kind of late. But Minnesota, they're stacking 1 bomb site, and then eventually they're taking control of that and then allowing their teammates to wrap back towards the other. So once again, that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to make sure they send 3 players towards A. Number 5 in accuracy is going to make sure he throws his flashbang towards middle, make sure no players are trying to rush towards middle map. He's just going to watch the street cross. But this is the LAG that we were expecting to see. Now, what can they do from here? Because it's looking like Minnesota, they're trying to get real aggressive through this A site. But Chino's here to slow them down.
I quickly looked back at the stats just to kind of verify, like, LAG on their defenses. They happen to be the 3rd best team in defense and search and destroy. They have the number 2 KD, so they know what they're doing on the defense. But we'll see what they can do now. They made their way up toward the B side. aBeZy with a nice angle is able to catch out accuracy again for another first blood. Also is able to find another one onto Attach. A great start there out of Father App. He's really silly, just kind of gaining some information in the midst of bomb rotation now toward A. And really being in this 2v4 spot for Røkkr, it's never going to be easy. Maybe trying to catch somebody off guard, stop the plant. Nice angle there onto Silly. But aBeZy's able to take him down. It all comes down now to Standy in a 1 versus 3. 40 seconds on the clock. The bomb gets planted and aBeZy is handling business.
That could have got really scary. If Priestahh turns that corner just about 2 seconds before Silly's able to spot Standy in the middle of the map, he's going to set up Standy to eventually hit the pinch, and it could have just got crazy. But they were able to eliminate Priestahh out of this room, take control of this site, turned it into a 3v1. aBeZy, Father Rap, he's been playing well. I'm pretty sure that's 4 on the round, so give him the ace right there out of Big Papa. So that's going to put him at 5-3, trying to work towards some streaks in LAG. They're battling back into this game. We were talking about it, accuracy really stepping up in that search and destroy game mode, currently sitting at 0-4. It's kind of hard when you're the island player, but definitely don't want to be sitting at a donut, so hopefully he kicks up for his team here soon.
Like we said, kind of a slower start towards stage 3. I know Moscow has treated the Røkkr quite well, at least when we talk about the last major. Sorry, OpTic fans, know the match is coming up next, but you get the point. You have to reference it as Cheen lines up 3. Can he nearly find the 4th? Accuracy, the last player alive, but Cheen is hungry. I don't know if he ended up getting it. We'll have to see maybe toward the ending final round playback, but what?
Nah, you gotta give it to him. Right there, you gotta give him the pistol kill. He gets 3 right there. You're just like, oh, Cheen, do it all, bro. He pulls up the pistol. Unfortunately, pretty sure his teammates stole that kill, but great positioning right there out of Cheen. They had no idea that he was towards the outskirts. That's gonna give him a 5 spree. aBeZy's on a 4 spree. LAG turning into that S&D team that we were expecting to see. Now let's see what they're able to do on their offensive push. This time, Minnesota, they're going to switch it up. They're going to send 2 players towards middle. And that number 6 player in attach, he's going to be a little bit more aggressive this time. But it's still going to be a nice and slow push so far. LAG, with the safety net that they have, Cheen 2 off streaks, aBeZy 3 off streaks. Slow and steady offense is exactly the way to go.
I just got to stop saying that Minnesota is talented at Moscow. Every time that it happens, I just feel like something negative occurs. I feel like I have it last series we casted over them, and right as I begin to reference that it's kind of a good moment for Minnesota, Cheen just lights it up. Quick ace, the oppressive 3-piece as they start to line up. Tagline only continues to live. But hey, like we said, LAG now back on the offense and really some mid-control gain for the moment out of Minnesota. And I believe Attach did spot 1 player going for the rotation. With that in mind, current 4 versus 2, favoring the Røkkr. As trades continue to go back and forth. So Assault and Cheen, they line up 2. If Cheen can line that player up, it would be the streak. It also would give him a much better chance locking up the 1 versus 2, but he gets tagged up. Accuracy, a much needed kill for him. And Røkkr, they reply with their 3rd.
Just the adjustment right there on the defense. Attach taking control of middle map. He's able to get that first blood onto Mr. Father App. And once he's able to do that, he's just stalling enough time. He forces Chino to try to overextend through middle of the map. Sets up Standy to set up the crossfire from that Eskies. So now we're all tied at 3-3. Accuracy gets on the board there. It's going to give him 2 kills on the round. So far, if you're Minnesota, I'm going to exactly what worked the first time. The only thing is now I'm making sure that Chino is not going to be towards outskirts.
Right.
And that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to send 4 players over towards the safe site. Chino, once again, is in that position, but they're being a little bit more aggressive on him. Silly's going to be set up for the crossfire. They take down Chino, and just like that, they're going to have full A control. Should be able to work this bomb play as you catch both players from LAG off the rotation.
It's just a positive. Wait, oh, but aBeZy, he catches him out. He catches Priestahh, who's on the other side of the bomb. So a great moment out of Father App. 7-4 right now. Can he make it 8-4? But no, the explosives will do the damage. Kind of an odd sequence there. Stuff like we said, Minnesota, they took over. But Priestahh plants for the other side, and really from there, they just get decimated. They get destroyed.
Yeah, I can't believe that they put themselves in a 3v2 situation, and then they plant the bomb for the opposing players' spawn.
I guess they just didn't think the rotation was coming in that fast.
Yeah, that quick. LAG, they just rotated into the building really quickly, and Minnesota, they just didn't take advantage of it. They get aBeZy able to get a 2-piece on the round, eventually turns it into a 2v1, and they close that out. LAG just found the opening. It was perfect timing to just push off the rotation, get the player off bomb. Eventually, they find the other players, and now they find themselves up 4-3. And look at what they're doing on their offensive push. They're being aggressive towards mid-map. Who would have thought we would have seen this out of LAG today? They're going to look like they're going to try to jump into this B-bomb site. But with that stun coming into that window, it should give the information to the Røkkr that they're going to commit towards this B site now.
aBeZy leading the way. This guy's frying. Really throughout his entire career, we talked about it. When aBeZy is frying, his teams, so much momentum on their side. But speaking of momentum, really a breath of life for the Røkkr team has been Standy as he looks to try to make the play on the flank. Meanwhile, it is Silly getting down and dirty early for the first blood. So it will be the 3 versus 4 retake necessary for Minnesota. Priestahh looking for a big fight toward the backside boulevard, but Cheen playing the outer angle, making things look solid as Priestahh and Accuracy hanging out toward the side. They get dealt with, and it will be another LAG round. As you said, Sud playing more aggressive. They're able to lock things in, and really, Cheen, just with this angle, gets involved in our last 2 fights.
And this is the thing about Minnesota Røkkr's S&D that's really been struggling recently. It's like you see Standy in that position. He went for the super late flank and tries to commit and make a play for his teammates, even though his teammate did get first blooded, so he has to try to make a play there. But I would like to see more Rat back try to retake that a little bit more together instead of relying on individual plays. Chino's going to spot that out all the time. He's currently sitting at 9-4. He's a player that always eats island players alive. Always that player that's going to catch the player off the flank, and he catches Standy right there. So I found themselves up 5-3, 1 round away from closing this out. In Minnesota, they're going to switch it up this time. They're going to commit towards this B-bomb site. But the only thing is Salt is going to be towards that deep street. Accuracy is able to stay alive and give that information to his teammate. That's going to force Assault to back up. The only thing is, if you're Røkkr, you can rotate this straight through the middle of the map and try to get to A, but they're going to put this bomb down towards B, and now it's going to be a 4-4 retake.
Continuing getting the fight early. The opening engagement, aBeZy drops as well. Now down to Silly and Cheen. Seen a lot of clutches up to this moment, but not sure how well this one's going to work out. Again, 25 seconds on the clock. Cheen does catch the ankles there of young Standy. It all comes down to Cheen, 1 versus 3. What a moment this would be if he could clutch it out, but with really the time remaining, putting himself between a rock and a hard place. So Minnesota don't vend to go for the rotation, but it does work out. Another offensive victory here, Stud.
Yep, so now they find themselves at down 5-4. Minnesota's going to be on defense. And so far, LAG, they have committed to that B site multiple rounds now. They like to work slowly up the middle. The map slowly puts up street. So let's see what adjustments Røkkr can try to do here. I really liked when Attach went towards that middle P1 area. He was helping Accuracy off the crossfire. But 5-4, round number 10. LAG are going to be on offense. It's looking like, once again, they're going to go 4 players over towards that B site. Minnesota, they're doing that same exact setup that they had in the very first round. 3 towards A. Accuracy towards the middle of the map, but they're being so aggressive towards this B-bomb. Accuracy now, he's going to have to rat back. The information does come into his teammates, but LAG, they should be able to get in towards this B-bomb uncontested and work this bomb plant.
They pretty much issue, like we said, out of the 3 lanes we have on Moscow, they just allow for Boulevard to be wide open, and that will give LAG the opportunity as the plant is in, but here comes Attach on the flank. Able to take down the first, so first blood awarded to them. Next player up is going to be Silly, but fights being won toward the outskirts of the boulevard, toward the street, is now it's all left down to Cheen. Able to drop the first, but it's Standy who is able to trade out the kill, destroying trophies for good measure, as once this defuse comes in, we will see a round 11 on our screens, a huge one. When we talk about this series, Stud, LAG, with how talented they've been in Search and Destroy, they were up 5-3. Røkkr now bringing it back. A lot on the line here in this series based on how this final round goes.
And that last round was beautiful because this is the adjustments that they needed to make. Not relying on Standy to hit a late flank. He decides to rat back with his teammate. They take control of street and they push in and they catch that player off the bomb site. Eventually they take full control of bomb. They force all of LAG to try to work up the street and eventually they close out the round. So now you're going to have Minnesota, who is on offense in this 5-5 situation. Round 11, ladies and gentlemen. In Minnesota, it's looking like they're going to go for that very first round. What worked was being aggressive towards that A site.
Oh, no!
But unfortunately, a teammate is going to come in for Standy, and this is the Minnesota Røkkr Tremble. This is the second time that this has happened to them, but they're able to equal it up nice and easy, nice and quick with that blood onto aBeZy, turns it into a 3v3.
You've got to be kidding me. The teammate, and then and then LAG try to back up. They're like, cool, we got the first blood, we don't have to do anything for it. Catch aBeZy, but there's the nade. Priestahh lands it on Silly, tells him to catch. As now it's a 3 versus 2, cheat and assault. It comes down to the ARs and most likely close quarter situations, but they take down accuracy to start off. A 2 versus 2. We all start to exhale. Ian goes for the quick shoulder, does get the info. Really waiting for the wraparound out of assault. When can the timing be there? When can the cavalry start to arrive? But there's the first, and it comes down to a 1 versus 1, and it will be Assault who wins the engagement, finding the 1v1 versus Standy. Nades aplenty, a heck of a round 11, but it will be LAG who clutches it out and stays alive despite the early advantage. They get it done in the round 11, and how about the plays with the Decemate?
Man, those nades at round 11 were insane. You get a team kill right off the rip, then a perfectly thrown nade, Semtex through the window looking like a young Brady out there trying to win a Super Bowl. And then LAG, they just walk in, they turn it into a 3v2 situation. That's where that teamwork really came in. Assault and Chino, they single out accuracy on the street, take him down. Now, it was really bad timing because Chino was watching that rat back when Priestahh unfortunately turns the corner. He wasn't able to get the kill, but it was the play out of Assault right there. The play out of Assault to go all the way from street to wrap back through the middle of the map, come up through the side door outside of P2, while Chino was staying alive the entire time on street. That was just such well coordination out of Guerrillas right there to close that one out. That was a good Search and Destroy game.
Oh, but that's so heartbreaking, right? If you're Minnesota, we talk about like the issues that they've had in round 11 versus the positives they've had in round 11. Another team nade happens again, and unfortunately for them, like we talked about how the round could have looked differently. Like granted, they do find the instant trade onto app, but still, nonetheless, we got to take a look back at this one. We got to take a look back at that round 11, of course, here for our U.S. Army tactical play. This round, this game, it really had it all. But what we start off and what, man, it's just, I think just on the stairs, maybe the level of elevation, Standy just hits attach. Oh, that is a rough way to go out. Again, despite finding the first blood versus app, as you call it, just kind of toward the stretch here, LAG, they get it done in a moment where they arguably have to get it done.
Yeah, so right here in this 3v3 situation, the bomb eventually is going to get planted. Priestahh, he hits the Tom Brady of Tom Brady Semtex right through the window, perfectly timed on Silly to turn it into a 3v2. But now, with time ticking, you see the way that Adam Assault and Mr. Money Cheen work towards his street. A nade comes in from Assault that makes accuracy overextend towards the right side of that bus, which gives the easy kill to Chino. And right there you see Chino. He was watching the flank the entire time. Perfect time and was able to turn that corner before Priestahh gets there. But look at what Chino's doing. He's staying alive, just throwing shoulders, making sure that the opponents are able to spot him as he's allowing the pinch to come in from Assault, eventually to close out that very ending round. It was just such a beautiful play because they know both players have Assault rifles. It's going to be really hard engagement, so if you're trying to just fly right into that B bomb site, but they take the long route and it works out for them. And just like that, Money Cheen, he was my MVP of the map, just making plays left and right. Now we're all tied at 1-1.
You broke it down perfectly, my man. Cheen, his influence in that round 11 was excellent. At least peppers up, right? The final player in order for Assault to come in and come through with the clutch. But folks, it has been a crazy series to start this one off as we are 1-1 coming in toward raid control. You do not want to miss it. It's the Dallas home series. Day 1 continues after this.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by GameFuel. Use code CDL2021 for a special discount on GameFuel.com. Tournament audio and team listenings are powered by Astro Gaming, the official headset and mix amp of the Call of Duty League. The Call of Duty League is presented by Seany, the official eyewear for the CDL. Armor your eyes with Seany Blocks blue light protection glasses by visiting seany.com/gaming.
Oh, thank goodness. I needed a few moments to, or really just a little breather after what was a nuts round 11. But hey, it's done. It's time to talk a little Standy, right, coming in toward this control. We had to talk about his impact, right? Today, obviously sitting at a 1.54 so far throughout our first 2 maps of play. And really when it comes down to this guy, like there was a lot of people who were kind of questioning the call, like Saint obviously makes the call to bring in this guy, so he's been looking at him for a really long time, and I know that at least as of recently for Minnesota, they haven't looked as stellar, but his impact to start off, really once he was added to this team, his performance in the opening apocalypse, he can be that spark for this team from time to time.
Yeah, he definitely can, man. Ever since adding this guy to the roster, you know, they go to that major where they make it all the way to a top 4 placing, and then eventually they start falling off as they get over that honeymoon stage. But a player like Standy, who's consistently just throwing up those numbers, is exactly what you need. You see him 1.54 in the day, it's just insane. Even though we've only played 2 maps, the guy's just been going off. And even in that last S&D map, he was trying to be that individual playmaker. Eventually that wasn't working out, so he gets back to his teammates. Fortunately, lose that in the very last round, and then you take a look at our Scump quick scope, and this is going to be, you know, on both sides, it's just not really good in the respawns for LAG, and that's exactly what we expect. And then obviously Minnesota, they have been improving in that ever since the addition of Standy. Search and destroy sitting at dead even, but the control is what we really got to focus on. We have a control raid, which is going to be that game mode for both of these teams they really enjoyed to play. But the only thing is, LAG, we saw them last week versus Dallas. They ended up 3-0ing them, so they got to be feeling really confident here on this map.
Yeah, like we said, like when we were coming into this series, it was just a matter of like, how does Minnesota really want to play the vetoes? Like, do they want to try to maybe see a Garrison control, or do they want to try to play raid versus LAG? Well, like we said, LAG, they were team A, so they quickly get rid of Garrison. Obviously Minnesota, their auto veto was checkmate, so it's just a matter of, okay, we're definitely going to have a raid for this series. But as you called it, my friend, like really both of these teams, they like themselves some raid. And I know what, I think like LAG, they have like 6 wins on the season in control. Well, 5 of them come from raid. They're 5-2 on raid. They are like 1-9, I think, combined on the other 2 control maps. So this has been a good one for them historically. Like I said, when it comes down to this series, this is kind of the perfect map 3 that you could ask for in regards to both these teams. Because it's like, hey, you know, let's say that we start off slow in the series. At least we have that raid control. Both Minnesota and LAG looking forward to this one. They've had their stomping grounds on this many times before, and we'll see who can come out victorious with that 2-1 advantage, as the Røkkr will begin things off here on the offense. Will be attached, who quickly hops on inside of the point, but again, expecting a slobber knocker, as JR likes to say, stud. Should be a good one.
Yeah, it definitely should be a good one. You're going to see this time Minnesota just trying to take early control of that A site, trying to extend this time by a minute. But LAG, they just did such a great job at holding that B point versus the Dallas Empire, so they're not really worried about giving this up. It's all about just trying to keep these lives somewhat close. See number 7 in Standy already hitting the pinch, but aBeZy, he's able to spot him and take him down. So the 8 point eventually is going to be captured by Minnesota. So the time is going to be 2 minutes and 16 seconds on the clock. Right now, you see what number 2 player in Assault is doing. He's pushed up all the way left side water. He's going to force all the players from Minnesota to try to work towards the middle of the map or around laundry side.
One player that I'm really looking out for kind of throughout this raid control is going to be aBeZy, right? 3-2 right now just to start off. Really want to see him get involved in the engagements. This is good old buddy Assault. He's getting the work done through middle map, but I believe he finished off like 21-11 in that map victory versus the Dallas Empire, like we said, where they did get that 3-0. He said he can just be a spark. Obviously, you played alongside this guy, what, a decent amount throughout your career, stud, like with that Team Liquid team. Like, when I said, whenever he is going off, aBeZy can look like one of the best players in the entire world, CDL included in that conversation. But if he can be that spark, that could be the reason why we see LAG walk away with another respawn. Or rather, sorry, with their first respawn.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. aBeZy, even when I teamed with them, when we were just a crazy duo, because when I was going off, I always knew that he was going off. And that's the thing, and that's so scary, is that the guy is a 2-time world champion for a reason. You know, when his back's against the wall is when he's able to perform his best. And right now, you know, it's getting closer towards the end of the year. We all know how champs aBeZy can be. I was about to call him Chapathy. Just try to mix them both there, but the guy's just a beast, man. He really needs to step up.
I think he deserves the name at this point. You know, he's played so well. Might as well give it. Yeah, just go and give him the nickname. Why not?
All right.
I'm saying, unfortunately, right, we're kind of talking about. Yeah, they just get destroyed. All right, LAG, they just get wiped off the point. Let's not worry about it. Chapathy, it'll be a reference for another day when he starts going off. Maybe we'll reference it there. But Minnesota, the nicely timed flank as they make their way in toward basketball. 59 seconds left on the clock. Every second matters, folks. And LAG doing a great job, really, on the recovery. But Priestahh able to drop 3. Okay. That will give Minnesota somewhat of a better lifeline, but quickly off of spawn will in fact be LAG. And maybe with that push from accuracy that spawns the players a little bit closer. Really flank after flank. It's worked at times for Minnesota, but they still have 2 points to go.
Yeah, but Minnesota, they know that they have the lab advantage now. No more respawns coming in for LAG. There's only going to be 2 players left off spawn. Standy, he's still cutting those players off. So here comes a little stack coming in from Minnesota. All they need to do is just eliminate 2 players, and job well done out of Minnesota to be able to close out this round. That play does not happen if Priestahh doesn't get that 3-piece. If Priestahh doesn't get that 3-piece, LAG, they were able to fight back into that and at least neutralize the point for some time. But Priestahh, being the only player remaining there, was able to take down 3, which just sets up his teammates once again to push through Kitchen, to set up off the spawn kills. Just like that, they're able to walk away with their first round.
I know we've been talking about Minnesota lately, but it's important to kind of highlight, you know, what has been, at least with the addition of Standy, like just an overall great move from the team. Like I said, I know the recent kind of, you know, performances maybe have kind of diluted that conversation more, but like I said, man, to start off the year, Priestahh like has like a 0.7 KD or something crazy. He has like the lowest overall KD, and it was just a matter of like, this is not Priestah's performance. And then now, once you see him on the flex, he can just light it up from time to time, and clearly feeling much more comfortable with that Krig in his hands, as many probably agree with him on that. But a nice start for Priestahh as Minnesota look to lock up this round 2 defense. But it's Priestahh again, right in the feed, starting this round off hot. And really, they've got themselves a great spawn trap for the moment, right? They've got somebody toward that side mansion. They've got somebody in art, and they line up for Attach as well. A 12-6 start for Attach as he finally falls, but my goodness, this has been a brutal start to this round 2. LAG were hoping for some good momentum coming into this second round, their opening offense, but it has been shut down to start off. Everybody rolling on sprees, and now it's Accuracy's turn. Sitting on 6 in a row. Can he make it 7? You bet he will. Finally drops, but nonetheless, the slang presence has been felt as Minnesota up 10 kills.
Minnesota just have full map control. Once you saw they were able to take down 3 players right off the rip as they committed towards that 8 point, they all sprinted right into Priestahh as he was cutting them off trying to go towards B. So they started off by just outslaying their opponent. They're up by 10 lives already, and you already saw that Accuracy did pick up both sets of streaks. So on their next offensive push, that's going to definitely come in handy. But here comes Standy off the flank, able to take down 1. Trades are going back and forth, but Sheen is able to take down both. He has to get on this 8 point to eventually stop this time. You're going to see what Minnesota's trying to do. They're just trying to fight for mid-map control. Accuracy is trying to make sure that this round can still go in their favor by taking these players off A. So with 25 seconds remaining on this clock, they need to try to capture this 8 point, and they're going to be able to do so. Time is going to extend by a minute, but the only thing is they're down 9 lives, and they're trying to fight for map control. As you see, number 5 and Accuracy pushed them all the way in their base.
Yeah, so with Accuracy up in that position, it's just never going to make life easier. Gene drops early as the onslaught now toward the kitchen from the Guerrillas will get halted for the moment. You see aBeZy, he's trying to make the play, looking to try and shut down Accuracy. Is able to do so that will free up at least one portion of the map. No shots coming in from behind. Zilly continuing to do damage up close. That's 4 in a row, and they're starting to even out that life count. Again, what was a solid start out of Minnesota. now within 4 lives. Granted, 48 seconds on the clock. And accuracy, he still does have the streaks. So here comes the cruise missile stud.
Yeah, once you invest that artillery, you got to make sure that you invest this as well. You cannot lose this round if you're Minnesota. So you're going to be able to get him off of that point for a little bit and try to gain some more map control as Attach is taking control of that middle map. Able to take down 2 players and eventually play his life, but they still have to try to worry about Chino in towards this Tiki area. Finally, aBeZy is going to get taken down. Attach is still controlling all of middle map, able to take down both players. Last player alive is going to be Chino, and just like that, aBeZy left in a 1v8. I know you're a 2-time world champion, but there's no way in hell you're going to be able to walk away with this round with 15 seconds remaining. You're going to see all the players just taking their time, trying to find aBeZy, and just like that, Minnesota, they invest 2 streaks on the round. They were making sure that they weren't able to lose that, and now they find themselves up 2-0.
Sorry, Chappy. What, a 1v8? It's never going to be easy, but like we said, man, just the way this round started off, just so clinical out of the Røkkr, and that's kind of been, the major conversation for LAG is that, like, whenever their strategies are working, they can be such a solid team, but whenever you have a roster on the other side, right, when the opposition is just going off, they have playmakers who can just put up numbers, they just struggle, and you see it exactly right there. I know it got a little bit close toward the end, but I think for the most part, it was Minnesota in control. About 95% of that round. As now we'll get to see what they can do on their next offense. The nade lands yet again. But 2 for 1 in terms of nades. That one probably for Minnesota. The one lost hurts the most. But how about the long-range shots at Standy? They're clearing out mid-map. They're looking like a force. They've yet to die, stud. Yet to die.
Yeah, they have yet to die, and Attach, he's working towards some streaks, so him being able to get this capture point eventually is going to get a little bit more progression towards that, but the artillery is going to be in. Now here comes the team fight out of Standy and Attach trying to take control of Kitchen. Currently on a 6 spree, and on a 5 spree is Standy and Attach. This submachine gun duo has really came to play on this map number 3. See, Attach is just taking his time. He's just trying to pick up the streak because he knows how important this is. Not committing too hard. He's forcing the players from LAG to try to change their positioning, but he's going to call that in, force the players to try to wrap in towards money. But 2 players from his team are going to drop down. This is going to slow down that push. And if you ask me, that artillery strike wasn't really good usage because his teammates drop at the same time. But as of right now, LAG, they're just trying to hold Kitchen, trying to keep this map control.
Lights break through. LAG able to win a majority of them despite Priestahh winding up on the flank. Will be another player here. That is going to be Standy, and he does win both. So, granted, that does shut down the overall push from the Røkkr. Standy had a moment to maybe hang on for the time. At least kind of extends his life toward the rest of those pushes. But as you said, man, it was like basically Attach comes through with the streak. He's like, come out with your hands up. And LAG's like, you don't really have to. We're kind of in the kitchen, and it just doesn't really work out too well for Attach's side of things. But again, streaks been a problem so far, causing issues for the Guerrillas as they desperately look to seek their first round. Really kind of based off the map position with 43 seconds left, you are going to see a majority of Minnesota going toward that A lane, going toward that P1 position. And really it could come down to just this single team fight, how Minnesota can do given the fact they are in the LAG base, but that's going to be 2 quick ones. Priestahh and Standy, they level it out. And he does win that. That could be a moment. 20 seconds left. Again, the streaks, they've got them. They've got plenty of them.
They're trying to win it.
They're going to go for the win, trying to knock players off of spawn. They will look to hop inside of the point. So here comes the stack. Here comes the play. Priestahh's able to win the first. Standy, he's got a fistful of fury inside of the kitchen. Silly, he falls to the basketball court as the stack is in. One player from Minnesota maybe could get there, but no, they look to get on it at the same time. And one of the more one-sided controls that you will see, a solid 3-0 reply out of Minnesota despite the crazy round 11. They're able to bounce back and in a commanding way here, stud.
Yeah, just the way that Attach and Standy are able to maneuver around this map. They just hold down mid-map control the entire time. It's so difficult for players on the LAG side to try to fight through the middle of the map, trying to take control of Kitchen because Standy is always in there just finessing. It's either him or Attach who are just shutting down every single possible play that LAG were trying to commit there. And that's exactly what they were able to do, man. Standy goes absolutely off on that map number 3. He was able to pick up some streaks, and he times it perfectly. He knows that attached, your artillery wasn't really that good, but don't worry, mine's is going to be a little better. They were able to take down one player. His artillery takes down one, and he still was able to keep control of Kitchen and eventually put these LAG players in a spawn trap. LAG just couldn't fight for any map control. It was really difficult for them to try to just get going on that map just because the aggression from Minnesota was just too much to handle there.
Oh man, what, 24 and 15 out of Standy again, just putting in the damage in regards to into these respawns. I know, like we kind of called on him throughout this series. You know, what can he kind of do? And he answers the call, man. He absolutely answers the call. As I believe here in just a few moments, we'll have our USAA coverage moment, just to kind of recap on what we've seen so far throughout the series, man. It's like I said, it's been kind of one-sided for the most part. Like, we're looking at that search and destroy. The round 11 goes differently, and then kind of where do you have this? It very well could have been a Minnesota 3-0. But this, again, is going to be our USAA coverage moment. And the player that we'll be looking out for is Father App. Good old Father Apathy. Again, major rounds in that search and destroy. And really, it comes down to this round 4, just kind of reflecting on what was a crazy search and destroy here, stud. As we said, it was Apathy making the plays.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Father App, he gets the ace on this round, and it was just the aggression that he was able to show in towards that B bomb, able to take down the first blood and then catch the player as he was trying to rotate in towards that site. But you see LAG just taking their time, rotating the bomb site all the way across the map, and then Apathy just still keeping that aggression up. With this SMG, his teammate was able to get taken down there, but he just immediately goes for the trade, able to take down Priestahh. Turns into a 3v1 situation. They gain the information where Standy is towards the middle of the map. Apathy with some great shots once again to give him the ace on the round. Chapathy, Father Apathy, Papa Apathy. The guy was on point in that play.
He was indeed, and I know that search and destroy is somewhat of a distant memory now, but they're going to need App and the team to perform. When it comes down to this next hard point, is the series done here, or can LAG send us to another Game 5? Make sure to stay with us as this is Checkmate Hardpoint when we come back after the break.
Acting up, acting that way out of pocket. For the grind, for the hustle, I can't knock it. Do what it take, do what you do, you could try. Yeah. I've been up, I've been stuck up in the sky. Yeah. Know me at the top, I can't lie. Haters watch it, throw the piece, tell them bye, 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 bye. I got things to do, I got bands to get. Competition up in smoke, ooh, cannabis. Ask me why I'm a top 10 candidate. I'm so fly, I'm so clean, ooh, and I'm rich. They can't stop it, they can't stop the kid. They can't stop it, they can't stop the kid. Check the scoreboard, I'm running up stats. Numbers don't lie, that's facts. They can't stop it, they can't stop the kid. They can't stop it, they can't stop the kid. Check the numbers, I'm running it up. I got penny bands, I'm thumbing it, yeah. Tell them move. Get up out the way. It's ludicrous, yeah, how much I'm getting paid. 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10K. No mob ties for the player being made. Now how you spoke to your girl, better check her phone. And do you know what she doing when you not at home? And when she tell you she alone, but she not alone. She got a lot of options, eeny, miny, mo. She gon' do what she want, ain't no stopping it all. Pour the liquor in the cup, yeah, I'm topping it off. I might take your girl, take a trip to the mall. Put the shelf in the bag, yeah, cause I'm copping it all. I'm saying.
Welcome back, folks, to the opening day of the Dallas home series. As we said, it is the final week of the Stage 3 regular season. How have we got here? I have no idea. But like I said, Minnesota Røkkr versus LAG, aka the LA Guerrillas. Speaking of how we got here, we'll take a look at exactly how the maps and modes have played out up until this point. I mean, what stud? Apocalypse Hardpoint pretty well controlled out of Minnesota. We have the crazy round 11 search and destroy, the team nade, and then Minnesota gets themselves a nice nade, but LAG, the nice place from Cheen, as they were able to claim it. And then on that raid control, I wanted to ask you, like, you know, how are we going to see Minnesota kind of adapt, given that they come out strong, but it really has been solid respawns all the way throughout so far from Minnesota, as they look to make it a clean 3 for 3. As you look back at a few of our stats, stud, it has been Standy so far throughout this series who has been so dominant.
Yeah, man, he's really just been dominant in every single respawn so far. That control, he was holding down Kitchen in the very first map, keeping up the aggression, hitting the late flanks on a map like Apocalypse where the submachine gun, those close engagements can really win you that map, and he was just winning a majority of those. And now you're going into a map like Checkmate, which is not really too strong for both of these teams. You're gonna have LAG on one side who are 1-4, Minnesota who are 2-4. But I really feel like Minnesota should be able to close it out here. The reason why that they lose a majority of Checkmate is just because obviously they're not able to keep up in the killing department when they're spawning all the way across the map. But their P4 to P5 rotation hasn't really been the best. When they are able to get that final 20 seconds off that P4, they get the spawns for P5. But then that one push from the opposite team is able to break their setup eventually, and then it's going to spawn them all the way out. So hopefully we get to see the adjustments out of Minnesota this time around to making sure that they're playing their lives a little better for those 60 money hills on this map like Checkmate.
Yeah, and I know, like, when when you talk about that P4 to P5, I know that was kind of the issue in their series versus Paris, right? To kind of break it off, right? It was the 250 to 169 loss, and really, like you said, it was kind of the P4 to P5 issues that they began to suffer. Again, maybe not the greatest moment recently for Minnesota, but again, it's a much different team on the other side for LAG, as the Guerrillas will possess the favorable spawns coming in toward P2. Keeping in mind, this is the first time that Guerrillas have played Checkmate Hardpoint with Gene in the lineup. But his dominance at times with that AR from range, how maybe helpful he could be for this team. At least to start, not all that helpful really from anybody on the Guerrillas, as it will be a clean 20-0 start from the Røkkr, as they'll finally look to go ahead and press on into the HP.
Well, the good thing is that LAG were able to get 3 kills right there, so that's going to force all the players from Minnesota to continue to spawn out towards wood. Now, the time is still going in favor of Røkkr. You don't get a single second off of this P1 hardpoint if you're the Guerrillas, so now you need to have a response right here on this P2. But as I say that, number 2, an assault is going to spawn all the way out. The pressure from Minnesota is in as they're pushing through back loop. Priestahh is going to be able to take down one, take down the second, and the pitch is going to come through the front just like that. Minnesota able to flip the spawns on their head.
Yeah, great start out of the boys from Røkkr. Again, they go 44-0 to break this one off. Now coming into P2, a much needed lifeline for LAG, but can they hold back on? Again, some cross spawns happening. LAG looking to be in a much better spot as they are able to handle Standy, the last player on the flank. So again, kind of like that Apocalypse to start off. Like it was a matter of one team holding the spawns, the other loses it, but that team who did lose the spawns, they were able to grab it in the end. And thankfully for LAG, they're getting some much needed seconds, because we talk about it, man. Like, you lose a control like that, I mean, you're kind of not really having a ton of momentum coming into this hard point, and then you were to go down, what? It could have been like 60 to 70 to like 3. Like, it could have been like 75 points to 0. Like, who really knows?
Yeah.
A much needed hill there out of the boys from Guerrillas.
Yep, now they're able to stay in this game now. So you're going to see Minnesota with the early rotation towards that P3. They should be able to start off with initial time, but Assault, he's taking control of that street, so they should be able to try to flip this if they want to. But Standy, he's still trying to stay alive. He's trying to be a menace on the map. There's no time is going in favor of both teams, but Standy, he's just choosing his time of attack. Fortunately, he's going to get dropped by Chino there. That's going to be 3 players down now for Minnesota, so now they're all going to be spawning out towards that back P4. Another kill is going to go in favor for Silly. You see number 2, he's trying to set up for that pinch spawn just in case. But all the time is still going in favor of the Guerrillas. This is the best case scenario right now, because a couple more kills and you'll be able to flip these spawns on their head once again.
As we've talked about it, a huge map right now for the LA Guerrillas as they look to send us to a map 5, a lot on the line in regards to that stage 3 major here for Group A. We'll go and step aside and listen in with the communication for LAG as we look to see how great they can play on these next few hard points as we step aside, like I said, for our Astro listening to Guerrillas.
Right.
I got one. I got a kill for you.
ACD, I got him.
Two. He's the break.
Touch
They're both inside.
I have rope, nice. Push up their side, push up their side.
I got the trophy.
Yellow crate,
He's a little weak in yellow crate already.
I'm nading this side.
Actually, might push it. I think he's still in there.
ACD.
Back
Challenge. I am. Yellow crate,
I'm helping you.
I got you.
We're missing one.
Might not there, so I guess.
Could you play him?
Get it one right, we're missing one. It's
Yeah,
Eli, right? It's Eli.
I
don't see him.
I'm rapping right.
Go ahead.
You're nothing holding me.
It's not playing.
What's holding me now? That's
Playing Dylan. He's
Stay,
front A wing.
stay.
I think he's flying up B wing. Dylan. He's gonna be on you.
Yeah, he's front of you.
Got him. Nice job. Stay left, right. I'll flash him back steps or something.
I need our pillar. I'm one wood.
Hit him on NATO early.
Actually,
I'm in time.
I
I have no trophy,
Can I
guys.
get back steps?
I'm
flash.
I need a trophy.
He's a low B wing.
I'm in
No,
five.
no,
I got
Nice, sit down, sit down.
I got one pillar guys. Still pillar guys. Other kid's probably exit.
I got needed. I have no trophy still, guys.
Right up front.
He's shot
front.
Frank
Dead.
I can
I got him, Brian. I'm shouting him.
I'm gonna have a trophy too.
Still pillar.
I hit him once. Try to push him.
I'm flooding
Run
time.
away.
Front of me.
Front right pillar.
You're good. I got you.
Eli,
Stay down.
Alright, Eli's close right. One's our graffiti.
I have no trophy. No trophy.
Brian, one's our
One
graffiti.
graffiti.
Okay, I've got your
Something.
front, Sheen.
Graffiti.
Top viewing.
I had him twice. I'm funny hill.
Front killed me.
I got Priestahh. Last two time probably.
He's close.
You,
Stop.
absolute.
Nice.
Stay down,
Backside or something.
I think he's top B.
I'm
B.
replaying time with you.
I'm down.
Forward,
Front abs, one shot, one.
LAG looking to hold on toward this P5. I gotta say that I love the comps, especially from Cheating. You know, granted, not having the greatest game at 6-14, but every time that somebody goes on a spree, it's like 1 to 2 kills in a row. You just hear with the call of like, nice, let's keep it going. Love to see that from Money Cheat.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Chino. It's like he's always going to be that guy. Even if he's not having the best of games, in those situations where your teammates might need a little bit of a battery in their back, he's going to be able to provide it with that energy that he's able to give. And just like that, they were able to bounce back over that P4, P5 hardpoint with some great time and a great hold. Now they're only up 40 points. They don't have the spawns for that P2, but they are gaining all this time in P1. You know the way that Minnesota has to play this. They have to make sure they do not let these spawns flip. With Assault getting that kill, eventually Attach and Accuracy getting 2 of their own. The contest is going to come in once again. But Minnesota, they have to be thinking about that bigger picture. You have to make sure you keep these spawns for that P2, and you need to get a full 60 to get back into this one.
Yeah, and as you called it, my friend, like P4 to P5, granted they don't have spawns for it, but it's really not able to make too much of a dent. I don't know the exact run right now. We'll leave it up to our stats wizards, but you know what? It's going to be like a good 40 to 50 point surge right now. Or the Guerrillas, no pun intended, is now really with players spawning out from every which angle. Both lanes being impacted by the brawl. Now toward P2, Standy really the last player alive. He gets dropped, so that's going to be a 3-to-1 split. Accuracy falls to the middle side of the map, and that will be spawn secured. Now for the Guerrillas, Minnesota on the other side of the map. A situation where we said, hey, this could be Minnesota's opportunity to bring the game back. Chaos begins to ensue, a code red indeed. With 35 valuable points left on the board, we'll see if Minnesota can contend for any of them.
Right now, LAG, they're just on point. With 30 seconds remaining on this, they already broke that 200-point mark. Minnesota, they need to try to break in, and you see Standy just flying through the front, trying to make anything happen. 4 players are eventually going to drop. With 18 seconds left, if you're LAG, you still have the time to push this. All you need is 50 seconds to be able to close out this game. So this 12 seconds is going to look pretty good. Pretty good junk time right here to try to close this out. And it's going to force Minnesota to eventually set up off that rotation to try to get a full 60 on towards this P3, but kills are going back and forth. Papa App is making all the plays. 23 and 13, having such a great bounce back map after that map 3. He's just playing his life towards that top
Is it Chapathy yet? Is it Chapathy?
Yeah, I think he's been arisen.
Oh,
I think he's awoken now. After going into that map number 3, he's probably like, okay, no way, it's our best map, and you just see it. He's currently on a 5-3, eventually going to get dropped, but LAG, they are playing correctly on their hardpoint, and this might be the first time that we get to see a second win on a hardpoint game for LAG. That's going to be another 3, make it 4 down. All the players from Minnesota spawning out towards backwood. They cannot catch their breath as Guerrillas are just keeping that pressure on.
Oh my goodness. This series has treated us with so many amazing moments. And what a dominant game so far from LAG. I know there's still 6 seconds left. Like, you very well may see Minnesota, like, you know, going on a little bit of a spree, maybe grab some points. But like we said, with 5 only needed left, there is no doubt this one should go the way of Guerrillas. I may come back to eat my words, but at least I like my chances for the moment. Again, aBeZy 28 and 15. Just continuing to be involved in the fights, man. Continuing to be involved in the fights. He has just been meeting players in stride. He shuts down Standy, gets away with his life. 3 challenges onto Attach. Oh my goodness, Guerrillas. Put them out of their misery. 2 more points, and this one will send us to a game 5, 1 point away. As Minnesota literally hanging on by a string. And we'll have spawn advantage with player 2 now kind of toward the back end. This could be a clever play out of Assault. Do they read him? It looks as if they will be able to handle business from the back. Looking good toward the front, but can they get the rotations and LAG? They get in, they hop inside of the hill. One more point needed, and a commanding victory. In back-to-back respawns, it was a 3-0 on the control, and what a 100-point hardpoint victory now from the Guerrillas. What a series so far, Stud.
Man, and we got a crazy game 5. It's insane, man. That's exactly what you want out of both of these two teams, is to make sure they show their strong suits in their specific game modes. It all started in that first hardpoint. You saw Minnesota, they were able to take in the S&D, LAG, and such a nail-biter, able to tie the series up. Fortunately, they lose that control, but that's such an answer on that map number 4 to force it to that map number 5. I'm going to put all the momentum in their favor, because the way that Father Rap is playing right now, the guy's on point. We have awoken the beast, and I can't wait for this map number 5, man. It was just great plays from LAG from that very first rotation of P4 all the way to the second rotation of P2. They basically got every single second there, and that's why the lead was so big in the very beginning of that game. You see the score gets a little bit more closer towards the very end, but LAG, they were just in full control from start to finish.
Yeah, just, without a doubt, the outlier, like you look at players, like no one really having a great game just outside of aBeZy, right? The 31-16 clearly sticks off the page, as we've labeled him a multitude of different things, but it is Chapathy who is showing up so far. I don't know if that one's going to stick too well, but one thing that is going to stick is that it's going to be a phenomenal Game 5. Make sure to stay with us, folks, as it will be a Game 5 on Miami. So much on the line. Every map matters, and this will be the most important, arguably, of the stage so far for both of our teams. Make sure to stay with us, as we'll be back with Game 5 after this break. Oh baby, welcome back to the Call of Duty League, as we are rounding out our first match of the day for our day 1 of the Dallas home series. Minnesota Røkkr and LAG. It's going the distance. If you just join us, well, what a treat that you have on your plate right now. Like we said, it is a Game 5 on Miami. Search and Destroy up next. Stud, how do we get here?
Man, it's been a crazy series, to say the least. That very first hard point, you see Minnesota, they were able to take it. That second S&D, all the way to around 11. Crazy 2v3 to close it out of Chino and Assault to tie it up there. And then the raid control, Attach, and Standy just took over. And then that checkmate hard point, Papa aBeZy really came out to play. And then now we're all the way at this game number 5, man. This is going to be such an insane number 5 for both of these teams.
It is, man. We talk about Røkkr, we talk about just overall performance. Search and Destroy at times has kind of been the lifeblood for LAG, probably more as of late, without a doubt. But we're kind of revisiting our stats from that game too. It was Chino, man. Big money Chino. Yeah. 14-7 in that game. And not only was it just him picking up big kills, it was him picking up the most important kills toward the end. As you said, as you broke it down for our U.S. Army tactical play, it was that round 11 of that game too, right? Where he's able to kind of shoulder. He and Assault work so well together, and he kind of sets him up for like a nice little alley-oop toward the end, right? He's able to weaken the player on the bomb, and then Assault really just comes in there, knows he's weak, takes him down with the Decemate. A major moment in this series for the Guerrillas, without a doubt, my friend. But like I said, man, Game 5, I just feel like it's different, right? When you have a Game 5 Search and Destroy versus a Game 2 Search and Destroy, it is a much different, kind of moment for both of these teams. I know historically you would say, oh, without a doubt, Guerrillas, they look much more sound in the Search and Destroys, but in a Game 5 environment, I think that you just kind of throw all bets out the window and you just hope that we have another banger. And I feel like, without a doubt, man, that's what we got on our hands for this Miami. I do want to ask you, though, we talked about players to look out for. You were kind of talking to me quickly in the break, just a few players who you want to see kind of perform, right, kind of play well. Who are those players for either side, for both Minnesota and LAG, that need to have a solid performance if they want to close out this map 5?
Well, for Minnesota, right off the rip, it has to be accuracy. He's going to be that player that's going to be the island player at the opposite bomb site. So his life is going to be so valuable because we know the way that LAG like to play this map. They like to rotate the bombs and work their offensive rounds pretty slowly. So his life is really important since he's going to be by himself. And on the opposite side, I'm looking at aBeZy. His performance right there in that map number 4 is really going to set the tone for this map number 5. He was winning a majority of his gunfights, so you can just tell he's really confident right now in his aim and his gun skill. So he's going to be really aggressive towards that purple. And I feel like the very early rounds of this game is going to really set the tone for how this map is going to go. Whoever's going to be able to take control of that purple off the initial map is going to force players to really stack towards B and might give the opening at that A site. So it's going to be a great map 5, to say the least.
It is, man. It's going to be a phenomenal map 5, folks. Don't worry, we set the stage pretty well for you. But like we said, we're going to head ourselves to a quick little commercial break. Make sure to stay with us. Get the popcorn. Get everything ready. This map 5 is set to be fire. We'll be back.
God, your camera's delayed.
We do the right work together and have some good comms.
Have some good gums.
Have some
That's
passion,
music
boys.
to my ears. Game is starting. Game is starting.
Right on. Let's do it, boys.
Let's go.
Sir.
Yep.
Toby actually owns a 32th of Denmark.
32. Yeah. 32, huh? There's no way you said that. You've made that up on the spot.
What fruit gives you the most energy? Blueberries, right? Out of all these, like apples, oranges, strawberries.
What do I look like, a fruit expert?
Could be.
What is the 32 is right? That's a thing.
I don't know.
Is that not a thing?
I don't know. There's no way that's a thing.
A 32 if. One at the top.
I know what you're saying.
32.
Would you guys support me if I did TikToks?
No game starts.
Would you support me if I did TikToks?
No.
I want you.
Cut that out. Cut that out. No, we keep that in.
What's
we
the
keep
answer?
32 up in.
Get in a circle. We're gonna do a prayer circle, okay?
I have a trophy too. We gotta line up our trophies.
Alright, this one is named Ralphie. This one's named Frankie. What is this one?
Ralphie, Frankie, and
What the? Oh, yo! Assault.
Okay, soldier.
I'll take it that far.
Are taking a 5er.
I got the groovy camo on because I'm gonna be groovy around the map.
I mean, I like that show.
I'm gonna be groovy around this.
That's him.
Ah,
I'll see you later. It's a tough crowd out here today.
I'm in my element right now.
What element are you? Earth, wind, fire, water?
I'm a legendary one that has everything.
That's got to be the best one, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. No bully.
I feel like the main character in a shonen right now.
I'm your COD uncle.
What?
I'm the cool uncle though.
I like that.
Little 10 ping action. What do you say? What do you say about that?
Trust when I say that. I love that thing. Trust.
6 ping on Val, bro. Like, we need that. Hey, you eat that fucking banana, dude.
I've only went golfing once and I actually broke the driver in the driving range. I hit the floor too hard and the
Oh
thing,
my God.
the what's it called? The club, the bottom of the club went further than the ball did.
Indeed.
Right.
Oh, yes, sir.
Copy.
Actually, game is starting now. Go ahead, guys.
What the?
Okay. Alright, smooth calm.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the Dallas Home Series. Again, it is day number 1, and what a day it has been. We're not even through our first series yet, and I've got the tingles. Let's just put it that way. Minnesota Røkkr versus the LA Guerrillas. We're still waiting on this Game 5 to start. We're being told it could be some technical problems. I'm not worried. Stud, are you? I'm not worried. Are you worried? I'm not worried. No.
No, I'm not worried at all. We've done an hour before. We'll be all right. Hopefully the game gets up soon.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I'm a little worried. All right, come on. I just want to be in the game 5
It was
already.
the Guerrillas, too. I'm not going to throw any shade or, say that it's anything to do with the Guerrillas, but I don't know. It's not us. That's all I'm going to say. We're just going to hang out. We're just going to have a great time. Like I said, we'll get the game. I have faith, Stud. I have faith. This game is going to be starting very soon. But in the meantime, we got to talk about what this matters, right? Why does this matter? It's because of that road to the major. But man, we're looking at this group alpha, and it has been nuts. Like, we just look at this one, obviously for Toronto's side, like they've been great. You talk about Dallas right now, kind of their position, but really it is Minnesota, it is LAG trying to fight for that 3rd seed, and really this series would make all the difference in terms of trying to secure that.
Yeah, because Toronto, they're sitting at 4-0, so they're basically going to be able to walk straight through and do that winner's side, and Dallas sitting at 2-1, and everybody else sitting at 1-2, 1-3, whatever the hell it is. It's really good for both of these teams because getting that second win underneath your belt is perfect because you got that last final match, which really can show if you're able to make it to that winning bracket match. And with both of these teams, the way that they're both sitting at currently at 1-2, this win is huge on both sides.
Yeah, I don't know all the stats. I know I'll probably be like yelled at if I try to label anything specifically because I'm just horrible at math and just how all the calculations go. But just know, if you are a fan of one of your teams, or if you are a fan of Minnesota Røkkr, if you're a fan of the the Guerrillas, you just really want to win this series. I don't know the overall implications, but anything is humanly possible, I would say at this point. But you really just want to win, right? You want to secure this Game 5. It gives you a much better chance, of course, of getting that top 3 seed. And losing it could be all the difference. But like we said, man, Miami Search and Destroy, we're ready to go. Like we said, no problems here, no issues, no delays. Miami Search and Destroy will be our final resting place for what has been a phenomenal, illustrious, excellent series. It all comes down to this, that when it comes down to records, like, do we have a favorable team in Miami Search and Destroy? I didn't actually look on screen. I don't know if they showed the stats.
Well, LAG, they're currently sitting at 4-2, and then on the opposite side, Minnesota, who are 3-3.
Okay.
But the only difference is in Game 5s between these two teams, you're gonna have Guerrillas who are 3-2 in that, but Minnesota who are 4-2. So the pressure might be a little different. Minnesota does have the advantage there. But in the very first round, we're gonna have LAG committing over towards that A site. This time we thought it was going to be aBeZy by himself. I mean, the island player, but Priestahh, he's going to decide to go out there and get the first blood onto aBeZy, which is going to be the bomb down. He's going to be able to spot Cellium as well. So that's already turning into a 4v2 situation in favor of the Røkkr.
All right, well, Minnesota, specifically Priestahh, a little bit angry after that last hard point. Thought they should have got it done there. An Assault slowly making his way through. You know, just nice little crawls. Maybe could catch accuracy off there towards second story, but again, a 2 versus 4. Time starting to wind down. Shots begin to echo throughout Miami. Both positions are made aware. Big fight. Assault can possibly win it, but he has to dip on out. Standy, meanwhile, is quickly there on the flank. As he'll look to try to soften him up. The nade will do. Now it all comes down to Money Cheen in a 1 versus 4. 18 seconds left. And I'm going to go ahead and go on a limb here, Stud, and say this one's probably going to go the way of Minnesota.
Yeah, this one's probably chalked. Chino, he's at least able to take 1 kill down with him. So now with about 10 seconds left, you see all the players from Minnesota not fully committing, but Chino knows that this round is basically impossible. Priestahh is going to be able to take him down, so that's going to be 3 kills to Priestahh on the round. That play doesn't happen if Priestahh doesn't open up with the first blood onto aBeZy. You see him right here. He gets team shot from both players, but just some great shots onto aBeZy to able to take him down, and then a good heads-up play to take down Cellium as well. Shuts down the play from LAG, and this is where it can get a little scary, because the way that Minnesota decided to play that round, they took complete map control. Took control of Beach, they took control of top purple, so they gave Guerrillas no opportunity to try to play for anything. And right there, they were able to win their very first defensive round. So now, going to hop on board with an offensive push from Minnesota, and it's looking like they're going to be a little aggressive towards B, and this is what I like. Just to set the tone nice and early. It's going to force those players who's the second player at that A site to eventually wrap back and 3-stack this, but a little too early to the show. Assault is going to be there. And right now, Minnesota just working through low garage.
But aBeZy may have found the angle, right? They know that 3 players are going to at least be here. One on the other side. aBeZy, the trigger discipline, the wonderful plays out of aBeZy. Able to drop the second. Standy, the last player alive, toward the bomb. Accuracy's on the other side of the map, for God's sake. I don't know how Standy's alive right now, by the way. I don't even think LAG are aware of how he managed to slip through their grip. But without a doubt, aBeZy making the major plays toward the garage, as Minnesota will be kicking themselves once this round ends, or maybe once they go back and watch the VOD, for how did we let him expose us there on the flank. And he is going to finally be found. 38 HP. He will survive at least to see a few more seconds, but only 1 second, really, at the end of the day. And Silly, how about the plays from Justin Fargo? The quick reaction, the nice little shot punch there. All right. I didn't know he had the hands, but he does.
Definitely had the hands right there in that engagement. But I thought it was a shot punch, not a punch shot.
That's right.
And that's exactly what he was able to do right there. Turns it now at 1-1 apiece. So Minnesota, their play just gets broken right there by aBeZy. He just comes off the flank, able to take down 2 players. Eventually plays his slide perfectly.
I gotta ask you really quick. So
take full control of map.
What's more impressive, the fact that aBeZy does that, or that Standy survived? Like,
no, it's definitely the fact that aBeZy
I know,
does
but
that
I think it's still at least kind of impressive. Like, I don't know how Standy managed to live there. This doesn't make any sense to me. No sense whatsoever.
Yep. Definitely does it, but Standy, the way that he's shooting, he's able to open up with the first blood on towards top perp. And this is what I'm talking about. It's just them setting the tone, being aggressive towards top purple. Fortunately, they're going to give him that position now, but getting that first blood, you see Standy going to be playing nice and slow towards the staircase. Going to force LAG to try to work through. Able to spot Priestahh in the middle map as well. The #1 player in Chino is going to be working low garage. Standy once again is able to take down the second. Here comes the challenge out of aBeZy, and they know exactly where it attaches. They need to try to locate him and take him down. And just like that, Papa aBeZy is going to turn it into a 2v2.
aBeZy is a one-man wrecking crew. Nobody able to shut him down right now. As again, the current 2 versus 2 accuracy pops up into the, rather toward the back street. Trade comes in, so it will be a 1 versus 1. aBeZy versus Priestahh, and the AR will win out despite how solid the shots have been from App with the 74U. On the other side, arguably the same impact felt on the Røkkr end out of Priestahh. Puts in the final 2 and secures a huge 1v1 there versus App.
Yeah, that was a big round right there to make sure you secure that defensive round because it was a 2v4 situation. Standy ended up getting the first 2 kills before anyone dropped. And it turned into a 2v2 immediately, then it turned into a 2v1. And the fact that he was able to walk away with that round still should have went in favor of the Røkkr, but now you find themselves up 2-1. Now LAG going into another defensive hold. The Røkkr looking like they're going to commit towards this A site. Priestahh and the chat's trying to work through the middle of the map. Trying to eliminate that player that's going to be able to cross through beachside, but Chino is able to get to this position. So now that's going to slow down that push. And this is one thing that they did a great job versus Paris, was just taking down Aqua every single time. So it forced the players on that B side to rotate. But you see the positioning out of Cheen, they know that. So now it's going to leave that opening for aBeZy. He's going to be going all the way through low wrenches, and he's able to get the first blood.
Again, Minnesota really just kind of being caught out. Like, in terms of these rotations, in terms of them just not really being aware of kind of the crafty play, the methodical play out of the opposite side. Thankfully for Priestahh, he is able to drop Cheen, so at least that beachside player will be shut down. With this bomb being dropped where it is going to leave for what could be a very surprising finish. Again, the 2 versus 3 right now favoring LAG. Accuracy, get the angle. Does toss out some utility. Meanwhile, on the other side, it's aBeZy who does get dropped. So the quick 2v1 fight that will allow for the bomb to get planted. Salt and Silly left up as they look to go with the challenge. Assault, he doesn't know where to look. He and Silly, Accuracy is able to escape for the moment. Now it all comes down to Priestahh. Priestahh with the shots. Can he stay alive for the second? Trying to throw the shoulder toward the side, but it will be Assault who's able to secure it. It looked good for LAG, and granted, while they do close it out, a little bit too close for comfort. Regardless, Guerrillas, they level us up at 2 apiece.
Man, every single round has just been down to the wire, man. Like, right there was a 3v2 situation. aBeZy, unfortunately, he wasn't able to complete the kill on the Accuracy, and eventually gets him traded. So it turns into a 2v2, but the patience right there out of Assault to not completely slide out. Just wait for that bomb to be planted. They know that they had the pinch coming in. They eliminate the one player. Some great shots from his teammate to get Priestahh into a one-shot opportunity where Assault just only has to hit him with 1 bullet. Eventually close that out. So now we're tied at 2-2. And so far, the way that Minnesota have liked to play this, you know, you're going to continuously send Priestahh over towards that beach side. The Guerrillas, they're trying to work over there. They have to try to eliminate him, but some early shots are going to come in. They're able to watch him as he crosses. And number 4, he's going to put himself in the position to try to take him down. But Priestahh, he's going to get called out. He's going to back up this time, and he doesn't have that bolt control this time around to have full beach setup.
You just see Assault, right, kind of playing up close toward B. You will see that player kind of look toward middle, just trying to catch an angle. But again, he just continues to go prone, or to find himself in a nice spot, and he could very easily find a number of different players off of rotation, kind of somewhat of an unorthodox angle. Meanwhile, his position is going to be known. Tries to tag up Priestahh. Can anybody get here for the challenge in time? aBeZy looks to. He quickly expires. There goes Assault as well. And on the offense, the attack being made toward this beach side. It looks as if it's going to be a no-go, but the nice shot from Cheen at least makes their chances somewhat easier. Silly does get the angle, so they know that they've at least got a favorable fight, maybe an even one. There's a rotation now in from Priestahh. Cheen still looking to find the angles toward mid, and he does. Priestahh able to make it a 1 versus 2. Cheen, last player alive, and it will be Priestahh again, constantly having his signature on all of these rounds, all of these round victories for the Røkkr. Puts in the damage here yet again.
Man, Priesthah's having himself a map. He's just opening up with another kill. Round by round, the guy is almost at double digits already. He's really taking over for his team. That's going to be 3 on the round, so he's already at 10. All of his teammates not really having a good map besides Standy, who's sitting at even. But they're up 3-2. It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. The guy has really been putting the team on his back, but now he needs his teammates to help him close this one out. So it's going to be a little aggressive push towards that B site. This time he's able to spot and give that information to his teammates, and no one is aggressive towards top purple. But Accuracy is going to get dropped by Assault with some great shots with that Craig. So now they do have the man advantage in favor of LAG. When all these players pushing towards low garage, this is not really a favorable thing for Minnesota because their flank is going to be open. There's so many things that need to be watched now, but they're going to be able to work this bomb plant. And a 4v3 retake now is LAG.
Well, we talk about this LAG team, right? They like to kind of sink their teeth into these defensive rounds, so you give them the first blood, and that just allows for them to be even more comfortable in what is already a very well-defined play style. As Gene making his way on the flank, Priestahh puts in some nice shots toward app, but he nearly gets evaporated. Dash putting in the bullets. Priestahh's there for the finish, so now he sits on 11. Really does wipe him off the spree, so there is at least somewhat of a notable moment. But Assault's gonna go for the defuse. Detached can go for the angle, and no, he will not. LAG. I thought for a moment, I thought there could have been an opportunity where Attached tries to go for the repeak, shut down Assault, but no. That one is not going to work out, despite some good plays kind of toward the outer workings of the bomb site. It is LAG who secure it.
Yeah, they almost make that round happen right there in a 2v4 situation as soon as they get the bomb down. But unfortunately, Adam Assault with the heads-up play, just a hot bomb, forces his teammate to watch over him. Now we're all tied at 3-3. Minnesota on that defensive round. Priestahh, he's been going big play after play at that A site. Is he going to decide to go there once again? And no, he's going to decide to play with his teammates this time and go through that B bomb site. And this might be the opening that LAG need. For Priestahh to not be in that position because he's been destroying on this map. It's going to give him the opportunity to be a little bit more aggressive on towards that A site. Now this is where accuracy's life really has to come in handy because he's the lone man at this site. He needs to play his life beautifully and just stall time for his teammates to get in the positions that they are.
Guerrillas taking their talents toward the South Beach. Is really so far it was accuracy, the sole man here. As we talked about, he can be that island player. It is going to have some support. Round gets so intense. Nobody yet to drop. I don't even think a bullet has really even been fired too much so far. That quickly begins to change, and who other than Priestahh locking in another first blood. He's able to shut down Happily to start. The long-range fights are only going to continue. Pixel perfect out of Attach, and he'll take down another. I'm not even sure if that was through the wall, whatever it may be. Wall bangs, everything. This round had it all, but it only favors the Minnesota Røkkr. As against it, it was just the long-range fights. LAG, they couldn't contend.
Yeah, LAG, their setup was just, once again, too slow. They gave the opportunity for the players on Minnesota to hit that flank. You see the positioning out of Standy, out of Priestahh, to push through that site. Priestahh gets the guys. He's trying to go for the bomb plant. As another player is trying to rotate up through the beach side, Standy, he was able to get another one as well. They were just able to pinch those guys out because their offensive round was just slow. And accuracy, he just did such a great job of just playing his life, forcing the players from LAG to just continuously trying to spot him before they worked that bomb plant. Just took too much time. No one was watching the flank right there for the Guerrillas, and now they find themselves down by one round. Minnesota, it's looking like they're going to commit towards the A site. Great positioning out of Cheen, who's able to spot Attach, but not able to take him down. As of right now, just a two-man defensive hold on both sides of each site. Chino's able to get the first blood onto Attach.
And it's so important, too, when you find that first blood, when you know the enemy is attacking over toward A, because as we said, it really does slow that push down. That's the reason why B is so favorable, obviously, just kind of given the fact that you have a lot of places to hide, a lot of different angles to kind of look toward, but A sometimes can make or break you. Gene again, finding a second kill of the round. It's Assault. Finds one himself, so it's going to be 2 overall, 4 coming in from the ARs. And a swing round where we talk about it could be a great opportunity for Minnesota to really kind of take the reins of this series, try to close it out hot. It is LAG not going down without a fight as the Kriegs, the ARs, continue to be the tail of the search and destroy stud.
This is just such a back and forth game. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we go to another round 11. These guys are on point right now on their defensive holds. They're winning a majority of those. Minnesota, this time they're going to be on defense once again. And it's looking like Priestahh is going to go for that 3-stack towards that B site. And LAG, they have the opportunity to be a little bit more aggressive towards A. This time a 2-2 split is going to come in. Silly, unfortunately, is going to get spotted by Priestahh. Some great shots open up with the first blood. Now you see And the bomb carrier, who's Apathy, he's going to be all the way on that B side of the map. He's going to rotate all the way through the middle of the street. Accuracy able to take down Chino. So now in a 4v2 situation, LEG just can't get anything going on their offensive rounds.
Just a total lockdown defensively so far throughout this round. Nice plays that have attached to stay alive. It's really been defense throughout this Miami, which isn't too untypical, but the quick 1 versus 4 out of Father App, he gets taken down. And Minnesota will be on map point and series point. A huge moment for them, but really kind of that quick challenge out of Garage, clearly catching the boys of Guerrillas off guard. And I don't know how many first bloods that Priestahh has. I want to say that's at least his 3rd, but he's been putting in the damage at least earlier on in the rounds as of late. But that streak, that run that he's been on, without a doubt, is so notable. Sitting at 14-4 at what could be the closing round here for Røkkr.
And I love this push out of Røkkr. You're going to have 3 players pushing towards that low garage once again. And number 5, which is Accuracy, going to go towards that top balcony. This time, you cannot give up your life to Assault that easy. You need to make sure you're watching these players as they try to wrap back. And Assault, unfortunately, he's going to give up his positioning right there. But Accuracy is just doing such a great job of just crouching up and down, making sure his life isn't in jeopardy. But number 3 and number 4 are going to have their hands full, as already Minnesota are going to be on this site. Standy is working towards that bomb plant. A couple shots coming in from Cellium to try to take him down. But just like that, it's going to be a 4v4 retake. Assault is able to take him down, but Priestahh answers now in the 3v3.
Oh, what is Assault? Assault finds a nice pick on to attach. The 3 versus 2. Priestahh holding one angle. Accuracy still looking to try to get in the fight as quickly as he can. Priestahh has to keep visuals here, as that's now going to be 16 kills for him. A 2 versus 2, trying to hold down that site. As Sheen in the midst of a flank. Accuracy's also about to hop into this engagement as well. Who's going to get the timing? Accuracy wins the fight. Now it's all down to Sheen in a 1 versus 2, and it's Priestahh who locks it up and seals the deal, stealing this series away from the Guerrillas. A series that had it all and then some, as Minnesota stay alive in the Game 5 thriller.
Man, that was a crazy round. That Minnesota, they just come out on top there, but just such a big map right there from Young Priest. I'm pretty sure that's like 16 kills on the map. That was beautiful to see,
like
man.
17 or 18.
LAG, that one kind of stings if you're LAG, because it's a 4v4 retake. You get the first kill, gets traded, and you turn it into a 3v2 situation. And right there, Cellium and Assault, they tried their best to work out on Priestahh on the outskirts, but Assault, he was able to drop. It turns to Cellium just trying to play his life, trying to hit some great shots. But it just took so much time for Chino to eventually work that pinch. You set up Accuracy, you set up Priestahh to turn it into a 2v1 situation. Priestahh was just in a great position every single round to pick up kills. He was making those mid-game adjustments and really carried his team through that map number 5. Great job overall from Minnesota to close out this series. And if you're LAG, this one's going to sting, man. Once again, another Game 5 loss in the books for you guys. It's not what you want to do. But good series nonetheless between these two teams.
17-4. 29,
Man.
nearly 3K damage. 4 first bloods. My goodness, what a game.
Guy was unguardable.
Out of P-Dog. Literally
unguardable.
unguardable throughout this search and destroy. And I tell you what, man, like in terms of, obviously you go to a Game 5 versus LAG, and I know on the Guerrilla side, you look at this series and you can kind of see it on their faces, right? That one has to sting. But I feel like for the Røkkr, like and obviously kind of excluding maybe that checkmate hardpoint, where they obviously kind of get dominated, the guys who you kind of expect to be the playmakers showed up, right? We talked about Standy. He was so good to kind of start off this series. Obviously, he has an overall great series throughout. The Priestahh kind of finalizes things in the search and destroy. Gurren, it's not as much of a team effort as you would like. But we discussed it coming into this for Røkkr. We need to see some slang improvements. We need to see guys step up. And I think, based off of, just different moments kind of throughout this, it was Standy who led us to the Game 5, but it was Priestahh who sealed the deal. The big moments here all the way throughout the series, but just commendable effort out of LAG. Overall victory here out of the Røkkr. But we got to revisit this search and destroy stud with our scuff play of the game. It is this round 11.
Yeah, so right here in this round 11, with a minute left on the clock, you see that Minnesota, they were able to get on towards that bomb site. Now it turns into a 4v4 retake for the Guerrillas, but you see the positioning out of Priestahh. He's able to just put himself in a position to immediately get this trade as soon as his teammate drops. So now it turns into a 3v2. I really don't know what Attach was doing there, if he saw someone towards the bottom of purple steps, but now it's a 3v2 situation. And Priestahh just does such a great job of just holding down his position. He knows that his life is the most valuable thing on this map right now. He gets the first blood onto Assault, turns it into a 2v2, and he doesn't commit to this challenge. He uses all his tacticals to make sure he's just stalling time for Silly to just waste his time on pre-aiming this, as the pinch does come in from Chino to try to set up that pinch. Eventually Accuracy is going to be able to meet his teammate there to take down Silly, and both players are able to shut down Chino at the very end. But just Priestahh, just the way he was maneuvering around that map. The first couple of defenses he stacked towards A. The second rotation of defenses, he goes towards that B bomb, hits a late flank. The guy was just all over the map. 17-4. Got to take your hat off to him.
You have to indeed, my friend. Obviously, we take a look at the stage 3 road to the major for the Røkkr. Obviously, it's been back and forth, right? They sit at 2-2 now. Obviously, a huge win here versus LAG. They still have the Dallas Empire left to face off against. Obviously, that one's going to be going down here in just a few days. But for the Røkkr, still hope's alive. They're feeling good after that series victory. We're down the other side here for LAG. They start off the stage hot, right, with Chino. They get the nice 3-0 bop versus the Legion. But ever since then, it has been rough, right? They get the 3-0 versus Ultra. We argue that one, they probably should have at least claimed the first 2 maps. So that one very well could have been sent to a Game 5. That one very well could have been a victory for them, all things considered. They lose the Game 5 versus Dallas, and then they lose the Game 5 here versus the Røkkr. It's hard, man. We talk about so many talented teams, so many stacked rosters right now. LAG just not able to get it going in their last 3.
Yeah, they're just not, and I feel like a majority of it just focus on that hardpoint, just the respawns in general for this team. Like, they were finally able to get their second win on one map of hardpoint, which is Checkmate. Now they finally have 2 wins, but just overall, their hardpoint game is not strong. And a lot of these series are going to a Game 5. If you can just clean up that hardpoint game a little better, you'll be able to fight a lot longer in these series and potentially close them out at the end.
Now, I want to ask you, kind of setting up that major talk, because this is what it's all about, right? We talked about the stage 3 major, what that means, how everybody's kind of fighting for this right now. I want to ask you, like, in terms of the way that both these teams looked, and I think arguably if LAG is able to kind of clean up things as time goes on, kind of coming into that major, what do you see as more dangerous right now? Now, I know that Minnesota obviously gets the victory here, but we talk about just the way the maps play out, maybe vetoes from time to time. Who do you think is the more dangerous team?
I think the more dangerous team out of both of these rosters definitely still has to be Minnesota. Like, the way that they've been able to maneuver around the map, they've been taking a lot of top teams down in those respawn game modes ever since they picked up Standy. So all they're trying to do, they got over that honeymoon stage. Now it's all about just trying to perfect your gameplay as we get closer towards the end of the year, as we're pushing towards playoffs. And that's right now what they're working on. Obviously, their S&D has fell a little bit, but they were able to bring it back up in this series, even though the first one was a 6-5 loss. But that Game 5, when the pressure's on the line to be able to close it out, got to be feeling really good on those improvements.
I just want to ask, I think just in terms of, like, at times, like for LAG, like maybe they can be that kind of Toronto Ultra type roster where it's like if they can improve the hard point, they can lock up those search and destroys, maybe they work on that control game. It could be something, but I totally agree with you. Røkkr right now just looking to be a much more dangerous team. But hey, let's go and take a look at our Astral Social soundboard to see how the socials are reacting to that game. I think it was a tweet basically highlighting Priestahh saying, that's insane from Priestahh there, 4 more kills than his 3 teammates combined. Unbelievably impressive, Paul. Great tweet, great numbers, great stats all around, and a solid win in the end here from the boys of the Minnesota Røkkr. But folks, like we said, we've still got another game to come up, but when we come back after this quick little break, it is Lottie standing by with the stand man, Standy, and the boys that get the job done. Like I said, it's Lottie and Standy when we come back after the break.
The Call of Duty League is brought to you by GameFuel. Use code CDL2021 for a special discount on GameFuel.com. Tournament audio and team listenings are powered by Astro Gaming, the official headset and mix amp of the Call of Duty League. The Call of Duty League is presented by Seany, the official eyewear for the CDL. Armor your eyes with Seany Blocks blue light protection glasses by visiting seany.com/gaming.
Hello everybody and welcome to your GameFuel Victory Spotlight. I am joined by Standy from Minnesota Røkkr. First of all, Standy, I've got to say a big congratulations. That was absolutely wicked. But I also want to ask you about obviously the red hot start that you guys had with your performances after you had joined, and then obviously it has been a little bit cold as of lately. So I wanted to talk to you about, how you guys have been working through that adversity. What has been your message as a team there?
Well, so we did start out hot when I originally joined the team, but I think as we kind of grew as a team, other teams might have started to learn some of our tendencies and how we like to play per se. So as a team, we just collectively went back, went over some stuff, got better, and really put our heads down and improved our teamwork and improved some of our hard point play styles and how we play our hills. And it showed right there. So, I mean, a little bit of a stressful win than I wanted it to be, but we got the W, and that what matters. So.
100%, you certainly got that W, and I'll tell you what, that control was picture perfect, and you're 8-4 on raid control right now. So I'm wondering, have you guys expanded your map pool enough coming up with this major? Because obviously the teams are going to be looking to veto your best. So are you prepared for that?
Yeah, I mean, we're just preparing by expanding our map pool and just getting better as much maps as we can get. Same with S&D. I mean, every game mode. So we're just overall going to keep improving and getting better.
I like that. I'm not going to ask you specifics. I know it's all hush hush. I won't make you, leak out all of the secrets here. But one thing I do want to ask you finally is, have you got anyone you'd like to shout out after that awesome win?
First, I'd like to shout out Michael Berger, Mr. Berger. Shout out him, Beast. Then I'd also like to shout out the Minnesota fans. Love you guys. You guys are the best. And last, I'd like to shout out my family. I really love you guys. So.
I love it. Standy, that is amazing. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Giving us your time. Best of luck going forward, my dude.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, folks. We've heard from Standy himself. Look, Minnesota Røkkr, they seem to be on the uptrend right now. They're getting that heat back. That heat we once loved after Standy joined, but let's hope they can keep it up heading into the next major. And talking about next, boy, have we got a banger for you guys. Coming up next, we've got NYSL taking on OpTic Chicago. It's going to be a banger, and you don't want to miss it.
This could be it. Thieves can lock it down here. From Kenny's POV we go. What a monster he has been. One.